Somebody who's, I Googled the name and pretty well known, Ingrid Oxley from TB Proof in the studio. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you very much.
But you should come a little bit closer there. It won't bite at all. So, you're from TB Proof. What is TB Proof?
Basically, TB Proof is a non-profit organization, and it was founded by South African healthcare professionals and students that had experience with occupational TB.
And how did you become involved? As you as a person, how did you get involved?
I personally had TB myself, and then I was doing my postgraduate studies, and my supervisor, Dr. Leona Steenkamp, encouraged me to find out what infection control training is available. And as I did the research, I came across TB Proof, and then I got to know them.
You got to know them as well. So obviously, working with TB Proof, you've seen the different things that are happening to people. You've seen the changes. Do you feel that in 2016, that a lot of people are aware of TB? Are they looking after themselves? Or are we in a worse place?
I think, one of the goals of TB Proof is actually to create a greater awareness of the current situation by people with a personal diagnosis coming forward and sharing their diagnosis. I think in the past, people would have TB, but it wouldn't be as much spoken about.
Like there'll be a stigma about it. Is it still the case in the recent years?
I think there is still stigma, and one of the aims of TB Proof is actually to destigmatize all forms of TB, drug-resistant TB, and that is why this Unmask Stigma campaign is being launched this year, where TB Proof is asking the public in solidarity with TB patients to wear a mask.
Wow.
I even brought these masks with.
We'll talk about that mask because obviously World TB Day is happening on Thursday. Drug-resistant TB. Just the way it's phrased.
It's scary.
It's scary because it's saying you've got TB, but it fights drugs that usually help. Can you explain it for somebody, a layman who might not understand? When you say drug-resistant TB, are we saying that when you've got that strain of TB, you can't be helped?
No, that's not what we're saying. I can speak from experience because I've had pulmonary TB. Where I was started on first-line treatment, and I completed that treatment. But different strains of TB exist, and people can be infected for the first time with a drug-resistant strain. And that treatment is usually the 2-year treatment, and the treatment has a bit more toxic side effects.
Okay.
Because you can't be treated with a 6-month usual
sure.
And obviously, as the years goes on, obviously there are scientists, there's research going into it. So how far are we? How close are we to getting something that will say, instead of 6 months, you can say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's done? Are we getting anywhere near there?
I believe that many scientists are passionate about that, and TB Proof stands behind research so that new medication can be supported and made available to the public and to anyone with TB. And I know that there is a lot of research that is going on currently.
If somebody is listening to the radio right now and they're a family member of somebody who has TB, how can they help? How can they help the situation? Is it because a lot of people don't know? They don't want to say, "I go to the doctor. The doctor says certain foods must be eaten." But what can they do? What can people do?
Can I speak from my own experience? That's the easiest for me. The first thing to do would be to tell people that you trust you have TB, that you have your friends and your family or your church or whoever is involved in your community, so that people know. Because if things are in the light, it's much easier to deal with it. I think you can feel overwhelmed if you have to keep it to yourself. And due to the stigma around TB that shouldn't be there, people go through things alone. And actually the support is what keeps you going. Because people need to take their treatment. You can be cured. I am cured. It's not always easy. The side effects are hard. And but there's light at the end of the tunnel if you take your treatment. So it's important to have that support, and also from doctors and nurses that see you every month to explain to you the side effect may occur. You must, if that happens, come back to the clinic. We can, if you have nausea, the dietitian can help you, or to have that support from different healthcare workers.
And obviously, TB Proof is involved in awareness. What are some of the challenges that you face when you're speaking to somebody and trying to get somebody aware? What are some of the things that you get? You get people saying, listen, this is my problem, this is my family's problem, it's not your problem. What are some of the challenges that you face?
I think, in general, people are scared. It's not nice to be sick. And they don't want to hurt their families in any way. So I think one of the challenges are actually just that more knowledge about TB, the symptoms, for instance. I think people can think they have pneumonia, but if they get tested for TB, they might be put on treatment and feel better quicker. And also that if you live in a house with a lot of people, for instance, and you have TB, you are infectious until you start your TB treatment. Sure. And if you don't get tested, you can't protect your family and your friends. So that, just the weight loss, fever, night sweats, coughing for 2 weeks, those are the signs that should alert people. Let me get tested.
And is it still coughing up blood? Because that's something I remember from when I was a kid. Or have the symptoms
just
evolved?
coughing for 2 weeks.
Sure.
Is enough for you to get tested.
Wow, because you think that's a normal cold.
Just a cough. Maybe it's just a cold. Maybe the dust.
And
you
weigh, your cough medication. One of the things that I'm very aware of is the negative stereotypes that go around TB.
That it's a death sentence. When somebody says TB, it's like it's over for you. How do you change people's thinking on that? Is it as easy as saying, listen, here's a pamphlet, see this? How do you get people to change their mindsets?
Society.
I think it's about relationship. I can't expect someone from another background, culture, who speaks another language to just accept what is being said to them if they don't understand and trust me. So I think if a nurse or a doctor, we're actually in such a great position. And myself, I'm glad I had TB because you have people's ears. If you I have someone who has TB, they are more open to hear you out. And I think we underestimate just spending 5 minutes telling someone, do you know it's not a death sentence? Do you know it is curable?
Makes a world of a difference,
people can give someone hope.
Yes.
Because you can't assume people know it's curable, because they might have seen a family member die from it and then thought, people die from it.
Sure.
Tomorrow's World TB Day. What is the message in 2016? You mentioned something about unmasked, but there's a mask there. How's it going to work?
There's a whole lot, actually.
I brought a whole box. Yeah. Go big or go home. So tomorrow on World TB Day, if Algoa FM and the public, families, people that are adventurous, doing fun activities tomorrow, if they can put the mask on, first of all, to feel how a patient must feel.
Sure.
And then to realize that, we are all people behind the masks. We are all the same. We all have dreams, goals, fears. And to stand together, and next time if you see a patient with TB or with a mask, to have some compassion and to show support. Sure. And I'm just very excited to be part of it, because I feel if we all wear masks tomorrow, it also is a uniting thing. Yeah. Like sport unites you. It also can show people we care.
Sure. Yeah. And then so patients wear masks. Is that part of it, which is where this initiative comes from?
Yes.
So during the treatment.
That is part of infection control.
Okay.
It's called an N95 respirator. You might have seen it in the hospital as well. So it protects the patients and healthcare workers from if an infectious patient is there.
So where can we get more information on TB and also masks? TB Proof?
Yeah.
You can go to the website tbproof.org or unmaskstigma.org. Otherwise, you can look at TB Proof's Facebook page and contact Andrea von Delft. I can give her
Yes.
cell phone number. It's 074-128-5619.
All this information will be up on algoafm.co.za. Ingrid Oxley from TB Proof. Thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.